Hello and welcome back to the ACSC podcast. My name is Charlie. As usual, this is probably the first episode you're actually going to see everyone's faces for the first time. So it's a bit of a strange one. Thank you very much for the feedback. And obviously, this is a special, extra special weekend. So we've got two episodes with two guests. The first one is Elliot, which comes out on Friday. And today, which is our guest, Tom Jones. So is there anything you want to say, Adil, before we start?
Yeah, obviously this will be the first one that you'll actually officially see on YouTube. That'll be out on Sunday. Obviously, we will still have the convert where you can hear this on Spotify and Apple Podcast as usual. So obviously, if you're still happy and comfortable listening that way, then you can still do that. If you want to see us for the first time on an actual podcast episode, then it will be on YouTube from Sunday. And again, for myself as well, I want to welcome Tom on here as well today. I've actually spoken to Tom before this. So it'd be interesting to just hear his perspective on certain things and his endeavours that he's gone through. But I'll just pass back over to you, Charles.
Yeah, so the guest this week is Tom Jones. I went to university for 1 year with Tom at UCFB, and that's probably where we'll start this whole journey. Obviously, UCFB, I think it's a university not many people have ever heard of before. It's a speciality in football business side of things, and it's based at Wembley. I think it's ventured out now. I think it's at Manchester City as well, and I think they've gone worldwide.
Yeah.
So it's a great start. So what made you really decide to go down that route of going into UCFB?
Sure. So first of all, lads, thank you very much for having me on. The main reason I went there, probably because I didn't really enjoy anything else at school. Obviously enjoy like sports and stuff, and then my dad was trying to drill me into sort of business, like, you must work for the man, you must be in business, blah blah blah. So I was recommended to by a friend something that put those two things together. So I had a look at it. I thought it was a bit too good to be true at the start, like studying in Wembley Stadium and seeing all these people and whatnot. So I thought, do you know what, like I went to a few university open days and it was good, but none of it really set the world alight until I went to the open day at UCFB for the first time.
Yeah. No, I was very similar. Same. So I think me and Adil both went to an open day at UCFB as well together.
We did, yeah. Exactly.
I completely see what you mean. It's like from a football point of view, where I love football, studying at Wembley, which is the biggest rating, it's like, you're like, is this actually real? Can you do it? So I couldn't agree. Obviously, you ended up completing a degree. I dropped out after the first year. Personal reasons why. After 1 year of studying, I didn't think it was enough for me, that side of the experience. So now you've completed. What did you really gain and experience-wise from going to that university?
So obviously, sort of networking side, I really tried to push that as much as possible. I tried to get as many experiences as I could. But luckily, I had a good friendship group around me who could recommend me to places like Watford, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
But mostly, I wanted to try and do things on my own. So I did a load of not random, but things that weren't associated with my degree necessarily. So if I was to ever venture off into something like that in the future, then I can say I've got like a sort of foundation knowledge from it.
Just a quick one from me, Tom, actually. As well, in terms of going into UCFB, was it something that you were quite, did you used to play football quite prominently, or was it like coaching or something you wanted to do, or even going any sort of route in football, like journalism, or was it something you were so focused on? Because I know you're a coach effectively now, aren't you? So was there like the passion towards a certain way of going about it, or was it, how did you want to venture into football?
So obviously the passion was there to start with, and it has been from a very young age. In terms of like sort of where to channel it, that was quite open, which is what I quite enjoyed of it. So obviously I went there and I ended up choosing the marketing degree, mainly because of sort of the people that were involved and what you actually do on a day-to-day basis, etc. But it didn't mean to say that I still still didn't want to learn a bit about the media side of things, the broadcasting side of things, and the coaching side of things, which I've ended up doing now. Funnily enough, I did actually apply to work for Hendon, a football club. I think they're about step 3 side, just down the road. They set a partnership up with UCFB, and I think on my second week there, I went for a coaching job, and ironically, I hated it. I thought it was the worst. Like, I couldn't believe that I put myself through it. I went to JJB. I went to JJB Sports the day before. Bought myself like a full tracksuit. You know, being in London as a student, that's like a month's allowance. So I bought all that. I was really excited, and to be fair, maybe it was just the age group. It was for sort of younger kids.
Yeah.
And also there's different challenges for different age groups. So like communication was quite hard and etc. I wasn't really getting my point across, if you like. I didn't enjoy it. So I sort of said, you know, I've tried it now. I didn't like it at the time. So I sort of moved on. But like throughout my 3 years, I managed to, I did media work experience. I did the performance analyst role, which is quite interesting. And then a bit of marketing for Sky Sports. So I had a bit of a go at everything really. I didn't want to, as I said, I didn't want to limit myself to one thing, just in case in the future something came up that I liked, and I had, you know, I wanted to have some sort of foundation knowledge about.
No, it's good to hear. See, I knew certain sides of that thing. So, but I think, is that the main thing you would say is for anyone who is interested in potentially going to UCFB in the future, people like you, myself, who have a huge passion for sport, what would you say is the standout appeal about UCFB?
Well, foremost about the university, and I say this to anyone, a lot of people have asked me about UCFB, and the first thing I say before even talking about UCFB is, if you're not 100% sure that you want to go to university, don't go. You know, I've, like yourself, Charlie, as you said, for personal reasons, I've had like a couple of my friends, they've gone to uni just to say that they go to uni, it seems like, because the amount of conversations I've had with people where they said, like, I think it was the first year, my friend messaged me, said, look, I can't believe I've done this. Like, I didn't really want to do it. I just thought I'd give it a go. So the first thing I'd say is, if you're not 100% sure, don't go. I understand things pop up and everything, but you know, if you're not 100% sure, then don't put yourself through it. Especially being in London and a student, it's very, very expensive.
Yeah.
But in terms of UCFB, I mean, obviously, I think sort of their main selling point is the location. There's not really many universities around that offer sports courses that offer that in stadiums like that. So obviously, that's quite a unique selling point in that sense. Another one as well is, although I didn't really I try to not use it as much as possible, would be their network. And although they've got some great, I know we had some great guest speakers that me and you went to, Charlie, sat in the front row, you know, got to listen to some great people. You know, like I try to not get the uni to do it for me as much as possible, just so for my own personal word, like that, I can say I did it off my own back. So I'd say, to sum it up, that obviously the location, the guest speaker series, and their network.
That's good to hear.
Go on, Charles, go on.
I was going to say, like you said there, is like, obviously, I can feel almost what you're saying is, if you're not sure, I was very unsure at first about going, and I think I made the decision to go due to the fact I got sold on the dream of the stadium, etc. And don't get me wrong, I had an amazing year. I made a lot of network, and I think, like Tom saying, networking is key. Even though I was only there for a year, I made a lot of good contacts. I worked for the FA for nearly 2 years from doing that job there. So there is so many avenues you can go into that side of things there.
Yeah, and obviously from my perspective as well, me and you, Charles, do you remember we went to the opening day? And even then, I think we spoke to, was it Sadi Wadi?
Saad Wadia, yeah.
That's it, yeah. And obviously I remember he was very passionate about it. But I was, like Tom saying, if you're not 100% sure on university, and I really wasn't. It was almost a 50-50. And obviously I decided not to go. I know, Charles, you did. In hindsight, would I look back at university, something I probably would have done, maybe a different path potentially, maybe not into UCFB. I was never sure. And it's interesting you're saying that, because a lot of people I've spoken to, they go uni and they come out with a degree, they actually say it's worth it, as long as you're obviously so sure on it. I wasn't at the time, and obviously I decided not to go to university, which I never did in the end. But it's interesting you saying that, actually.
Yeah. So we can move on a bit further. Obviously, like you're talking about so many things, and obviously I know you was at Watford for a while in a few different various roles. So how did that opportunity come around, and what did it entail?
Right. So as much as I want to say I worked for this one myself, it was my flatmate one of our friends, Charlie, David Moat.
Yeah.
He originally made contact with now I believe he's the sales director of the club, Paul O'Brien. Just talking, having that conversation and whatnot. And then he spoke to Dave about the match day hospitality team.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that a place became free, in which he asked me to do so. So I remember I got a train to Oxford where Dave lives, and then we were up at the crack of the dawn. And my first game, probably the best game I went to or worked on, was the Watford Liverpool 3-3 draw.
Oh yeah,
yes.
So obviously, it was first day. I was obviously quite nervous, as you would be. It's quite funny, really. I gave Dave had to get me a suit, and he told me he told me he guessed my sizes. So I was like, okay, we can't. He's known me for a while now, so he's not going to get this too bad. So I ended up with 38-inch waist trousers, and I'm a 32. The jacket looked like a onesie. I went in and I looked honestly so bad. And I went in. You've got to think. You're going in. And I've met the sales director, the head of sales. I've met literally the whole sales team, and I'm there looking like the Michelin Man, just like hello. So bless them. They had to give me a coat, and I had to wear that. But other than that, so what we did, it's quite a relatively straightforward job, welcoming the guests, helping them in and whatnot. And then, fortunately, most of the time we get to watch the game. And obviously, being an Arsenal fan and it being so expensive and hard to get tickets, it was nice to actually, enjoy a Premier League football game, because I know it's great to watch it on the TV, but it's nothing like being there live. So I got to watch that. Bumped into a couple of famous faces. Couple of players that were injured were in hospitality, so I got to meet them. And so one of the main things I learned was, obviously, if I was a fan, I'd be like, oh my God, can I get a photo? So like being as professional as possible. So that whole experience was amazing. And if they do watch this, thank you ever so much to the likes of Holly, Paul and Amy. You guys were great. It was a great experience all round. Like most games, I got to stand and watch the game with Luther Blissett, who's Watford's all-time goal scorer and appearance holder. He's a legend of the club. Yeah. It's just little things like that made the job so great. I had to even drive the buggy. At one point, there's quite a hill, so you have to help the elderly people up the hill. Even that's got some, like social, aspect to it as well. You get to know people, you get the regular faces. I even took some of the injured players up and down there, so I got to speak to them when we were on first name terms. So it was great. It was really.
Go on.
No, sorry. What were you going to say? Go on.
I was going to say, what was like your reasoning then at the end of? Because obviously, I believe you're not there anymore, are you?
No, I'm not.
So,
the way I understood it was, we after uni, me and Dave completed a commercial project for them, which was to help them with their online marketing. So we spent a couple of weeks on that, and we gave them suggested ideas. I believe they used some of the campaign, which was good, and it helped them. So that was good. It was good to put on my CV. I then called Paul, the sales director now, and I went in and spoke to him. And I said, look, I've really enjoyed my time here, but I'd like to see if I can make this a full-time position. And at the time, the simple fact was that they were only hiring one spot, and it was rightful that David had got it because he'd been there a year longer than me, and he'd worked for the club a lot. So it made perfect sense. I wasn't upset about it. Obviously, I was disappointed that I wasn't working there full time because I really enjoyed it. But I understood the reasoning, and we still now keep in contact now and again. he said, he tells me if there's any jobs going that he thinks I'll be good for, etc. So I still got that relationship in that sense. So it's been really good in that aspect.
That's what you're saying there is, I think, from my experience as well, working at the FA, like you're saying, keep it professional is the one thing that I think you pick up so quickly within those sort of roles and aspects of seeing players so closely. And like I said, you've got to switch yourself from being a fan to actually an employer. So it's like a professional so quickly. I think, is that sort of aspect you learn to do quickly, or is that quite a hard adjustment you had to make?
It's sort of put on you, really. You can't, read or research about it. You've just got to sort of do it yourself.
Yeah.
Perfect example I had. I was working Watford, West Ham, and I had a call, and no one. They needed someone to go and look after David Gold's for an hour or so. So then that's when you just got to just turn on professional mode. Yeah, so I went to meet him. I think David Sullivan was there as well, and they came in, and I was stood with them, obviously trying to make conversation with them and whatnot.
Sorry, I just got in there. What are they like in person? Because they're very controversial in terms of Sullivan and Gold.
I was trying to avoid this one. David Sullivan, I can't comment on. I didn't speak to him as much. David Gold, he was interesting.
Okay.
He sort of came in and sort of demanded that, I do this for him, this for him, this for him. For example,
okay.
Every VIP guest gets told where they're allowed to go and where they're not allowed to go. He wanted to go where he wasn't allowed to go. And it wasn't something that, it wasn't something I could do.
Yeah.
And he was getting quite frustrated with it. He wanted to go, I think he wanted to go to the players' dressing room, like now, an hour before kickoff. Obviously something I can't do.
Yeah, you don't
so I just have to remain calm and, sort of that helped my problem solving in that aspect, because, I had to think of something fast. So in the end, I got my manager to come down and take him round there, which I think they let him do.
So he got his way in the end then?
He got his way in the end, but he didn't, it was a real, I'm David Gold and you will do this for me and sort of thing, which I didn't really like. But on the on the other hand, he doesn't. I've had I didn't even know this, but Patrick Stewart, the actor, he's a director for Huddersfield, which I didn't know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Interesting.
Neither did I. He just popped in. He was really nice. I had a good conversation with him. Noel Gallagher.
Yeah.
Came in as well. Really nice guy. Really genuine. John Motson used to come to a lot of the games. Again, really nice person. I mean, I met a lot of footballers or people around the industry that were really nice people. Obviously, being Watford, I met Troy Deeney a few times. A couple of the other players. Yeah, they're all really nice people. I've not met a player that was particularly rude or anything. No. Actually, there was one time. I can tell this now because I don't work for him anymore. Etienne Capoe's wife was waiting for me to take her up in the buggy in the car park, and it was her and her child, or an elderly couple. And it was quite a cold day, so obviously I chose the elderly couple because of the weather. Yeah. So I took them back up, and then I went back down. She gave me an absolute earful. I didn't even know this. I didn't get told this, but his son was meant to walk him out for the game, and he missed it. So, yeah.
So you
obviously I wasn't told this, but I'm sure in that situation, I'm not sure many people would have done much different than me.
No.
An elderly couple who were really cold, So I did that. She wasn't very happy, but I don't regret what I did.
You've done the right decision.
You got to prioritise. But other than that, I've not really had any.
Give me a story.
No, nothing else embarrassing's happened, I don't think.
Give me a story at Watford, or even at Watford, where you can't ever forget. Something that's in a good way, or something that's been like, it's going to stay with you forever, that you're like frightened by now. At the top of your head where you think, what, or you met someone, or, someone was like, someone you thought was so like nice to you, or went out of their way for you at Watford. Did you have a moment like that?
I'll tell you what, I'll keep it, I'll do one footballer and one non-footballer. So first day, I'd just taken some guests into one of the hospitality areas. I turned round and literally physically bump into Jamie Redknapp.
Okay.
First day, I haven't got a clue where anything is. Nice enough. Goes, oh, where's the toilet? And I'm just there thinking, they've asked you to do this. They've stitched me right up here. So I've had to take him around. I'm in half the stadium just to find the toilet. That was quite embarrassing, but it was only, he understood it was my first. I did say, it was my first day. I do apologise when you go and ask someone.
Yeah.
He was really genuine, and yeah, really genuine guy. Spoke, just spoke about football, and it's, you can talk about football to anyone, but when they're, a pundit on Sky Sports or whatnot, it's just that little bit extra special.
Yeah.
I think at the time when Coutinho was sort of, is he going to Barcelona? Is he staying? We just spoke about that. And then, yeah, showed him where the toilet was, and then that was that. And then I saw him at the end, and he said, "Thank you for your help earlier." It's a really nice guy.
That's good.
And then the other side of it, the non-footballer. Oh, that's an interesting one. I'm gonna go with. Have you seen The Chase?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the black guy from The Chase.
Oh yes, yeah.
I don't know his name, so
I've forgotten his.
I've forgotten his name as well.
Yeah,
I used to know him, but I
exactly.
forgot it off the top of my head. Yeah,
It's like the Destroyer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But he came, and it took me it took me a while to figure out who he was, because I knew he was someone off the TV. And then I worked it out. I said, "Oh, I've got it." And he went, "What have you got?" I said, "Oh, you're on The Chase." And he said, "Yes, I am." I was like, "Right, okay, I've worked that one out now." So that was all good. So that sort of broke the ice a bit. But, he didn't talk about
Sean Wallace, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
What's that, sorry?
Yeah, something.
It was Sean Wallace. Yeah, Sean Wallace.
That's the one. But he didn't speak about himself at all. He asked me, like, how's my job going? Am I at uni? Am I studying? Whatnot? So we had a good conversation. Obviously, because you're in a lift, you haven't got that long.
Yeah.
But you can tell from like a small conversation, what a person's like. So I'd say he was really nice, and that that made my day, because it's rare you talk to someone that's on the TV and they ask about you. Like it seems quite simple, but it's it's quite powerful, to be honest. And then I saw him later on in the day, and he was taking the mick out of my name and Tom Jones, singing a song. So I saw him a bit later on.
Yeah.
But he was a really nice, genuine bloke.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's 100% the best experience I had whilst.
Funny enough, Tom. Actually, before we had you on, we spoke about this yesterday. We were telling everyone Tom Jones is on. They're like, the singer Tom Jones, you've got him on. Have you noticed that one? Oh, is that the note?
There's not a joke that I don't know. Like, my name changed to Jones when I was 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And honestly, everyone kept saying, like, "Oh, it's not unusual, blah blah blah," and whatnot. And I didn't have a clue what they were on about.
I'm pretty sure you go by "It's Not Unusual" on like PlayStation now, don't you?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to beat me at FIFA, it's not an unusual one.
So we'll move on a little bit, obviously, from your time.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Obviously, I know a bit. I don't know if I've touched on it with you slightly, Dill. So I know you're quite a good player as well. And I think you was involved with DTFC. I think everyone knows the name DT, obviously, Arsenal fan TV side of things. I think it's a good thing to talk about, because what is he really like in person?
Is that DT?
Well, do you know what?
The T?
Yeah, so I don't know if you didn't know, is DT, obviously, you had the Blood Brothers season. This is where Dill is. He then created his own team after that. It was called DTFC. And then I think I saw it from your Instagram that you was involved with the club, etc. side of things. So what was he actually like in person, etc.? Was he what everyone seems to think, this bold character who does what he wants?
The thing I'll say is, first and foremost, is never judge a person from what you see online until you've met them yourself. I do hope he watches this, in a sense, because I think he'll be quite surprised at what I say. How did it start? So it started, I met his son Kieran through one of my friends. We just played. We had a 11-side kickabout. That's when I first met him. Nothing really was said. Just said, "Oh, how you doing?" sort of thing. Just casual chat. And then a couple of my Kieran told a few of my mates that a team was being made called DTFC, and that it was going to be a trial day. So I didn't apply. I'm not the most confident of players in the world. Like, I wouldn't say I am good enough for something necessarily. So they all went for it, and they all got in the team. There's three of my mates, Anthony, Josh, and Sam. They all got in the team.
Yeah.
And then I went to watch their first ever game. And I don't think we really spoke. I spoke to his brother, Simon, really nice guy, and a couple of the subs. They won that game. I think Kieran scored the winner as well. So it's sort of like a fairy tale ending. But, I expected, everyone would expect him to pipe up a lot and, cause a load of mayhem and stuff. But to be fair, it was the other team just trying to do it the whole time. And he actually kept his cool for all of it, to be honest, apart from, when he scored at the end. But, he just want to score a last minute winner.
Yeah.
We can see them all on we can see them all on FIFA all the time.
Yes.
We do.
Yes. No, so yeah, I was gonna say, so like your aspect of that getting involved, what was it like? Is it, because obviously everyone sees it on the YouTube, is it as serious as he wants to say? Because I know he talks a lot about wanting to literally become very similar to like a professional side. Did you see that then, or?
Yeah, I mean, the reason that it was in that sort of professional environment is because obviously his brand himself, everyone that we played, or everyone that I played against, they played, so much better than they normally would just because of us. Yeah. So, we didn't have, there was a lot of other teams in the Blood Brothers League who played like sort of easier games. But we played some really, really good teams. Some of the best teams I've ever played against in my whole career, if you like. And I've sort of dabbled at sort of like lower non-league level, lower like semi-pro level. So that is quite a big thing to say. In terms of management, if you like, he wasn't what I expected to be. I thought he was going to be like on the touchline all the time, going crazy if we weren't doing something right. But he was very calm, which may surprise some people. He's a nice fan. He was very composed. He named the team. He just said what he wanted out of everyone, and then if we did well, he'd give us praise at half time. And if not, he'd go absolutely ballistic, which is pretty normal, to be fair.
What position did you play, Harry?
What's that, sorry?
What position did you play?
I played centre midfield. I've sort of played everywhere, but centre mid is because it's the only thing I can do is pass. So just decided to put myself there. Charlie knows that. Whenever we played 5-a-side at uni, I never scored. I just gave the ball to Charlie. I let him do
it. Yeah. So what you're saying there, you don't play anymore as promptly now because you've always had injuries, haven't you? So is that been
yes. So the whole thing with that is I've had two pretty nasty incidents. The first one, I was playing just for my local team. One of my teammates went in for a 50-50 with this guy, and he caught him a bit at the end. And then he, for whatever reason, he thought it was me. And then basically I've been shoved over on the ball, and then he came down and just like stamped on my ribs.
Oh God, Jesus!
Yeah, and he had studs on, so that it left a mark.
Jesus.
But referee didn't give anything, didn't get booked, didn't get sent off.
Wow.
Nothing, which is good. So I played the rest of the game, and then I started having palpitations at work 2 weeks later. I was just carrying a box, put it on a van. It's one of my deliveries from one of my customers, and I started having really bad palpitations. I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk. It was really bad. Turns out he broke 3 of my ribs.
Jesus.
So I was out for quite a while, and then literally, I'd say as soon as I got back to, as in recovering from the injury in full fitness, I played another game. The ball was bouncing. I kicked it up quite high, and the guy jumped to block it, which was fine, and then he left his foot out with his studs again and kicked me right on the opposite side of where I just got injured.
God.
Same thing. Next day, went to hospital, two ribs broken. So I've not been very lucky in that sense.
Yeah. Okay, so what we'll do is also move on to what you do now and see that side of it. So obviously you're now a coach. I believe it's at Hitchin Town. You're the manager there, I believe.
Yes. So we were Letchworth United last year. We didn't have the best of seasons, but we have now rebranded to be called, it's quite a mouthful, Hitchin Town Supporters Club Football Club. Which is a traditional team that Hitchin Town used to use as a sort of Sunday side, if you like. So we're becoming the Hitchin Town Sunday side, which is very good. We've just sorted out our logo, new kits, tracksuits, everything. So it's an interesting project to be a part of. We've also we're also hosting a trial day when fit to do so. We've had about 35 people apply for it.
That's good.
So it's really good.
Good. So obviously, how did you venture into coaching and that sort of things? Is that sort of culminated from your whole experience of times at UCFB and gathering that experience, just come to one and now decide this is the route you want to go down to then?
Yeah, so I mean, it first started, it was after my first rib injury. I called the manager and I said, I can't just watch. I need to help. I need to do something.
Yeah.
Just for my own, it's just how I see it, my mindset and whatnot. And he said, you can come and give me a hand and whatnot. And there was two managers at the time, so I sort of became like the assistant, if you like. Then one of them went on holiday, so I thought, right, this is my chance to step up now. This is my chance, to make a difference.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, the whole tactical side of things. So he went on holiday. We had 4 games. I think all the 3 league games with everyone who was above us in the top 4, and 1 game in the cup, which was against the team in division above. And we ended up winning every game. So that really sort of pushed me. I was like, right, okay, I'm quite enjoying this. Yeah. So then when I recovered, I sort of left that and I go, right, I know I like that. So, when the time comes, or if I get injured again, or if, when I'm too old, that is a route I can go down. But I've just sort of fast tracked it, really.
No, it's good to see. It's good to see. Obviously, we'll put all your socials and that side of things in, but you're also doing one-to-one coaching now, and I think that's such an exciting aspect, because it's not something I've seen a lot. I think the only person I know of, I think his Instagram, is it Russell something? I think he's Superior Striker, and he helps out a lot for the England training camp.
Alan Russell.
That's it. And he does a lot, and I've never really seen any other side of that thing. So what made you sort of go down that route as well?
First and foremost, obviously, without being cringy, I like to help people. I know, obviously, with this lockdown, it affects people more than others.
Yeah.
It's certainly affecting my physical shape as well. So the first reason it'd be something to get me to concentrate on during these times. Also, I know mentally as well, it can affect a lot of people. I know it can be quite daunting staying inside. So obviously, when the government says that, you could do like one-to-ones in the park or whatnot, I just, it just started off. It's just an offer, like, if anyone wants to, work on their fitness, work on their sharpness, or when the football comes back, they're ready, then, hit me up. And it's sort of, it's blown up, really. I didn't expect it to go as well as it has done. I think I've run my Coach TJ page for, I think it's a week today, and I've already got over 100 followers, which is kind of crazy. I didn't expect to have 20, to be honest. So it's all happening really fast, but I'm really enjoying it. And I've got a few sessions coming up this week, next week. Literally, I've got some semi-pro players coming down, some that just play local football. But it is literally just to help anyone. I'm not charging people for many reasons.
I think that's quite important for a lot of people as well, where you're not charging. Is that free one-on-one interaction that you're offering, and that shows that you're genuine. You want to help people, because obviously if there was a fee involved, it's different. Where you're doing for free, you can tell it's coming from the heart, and you want to genuinely help people, which is a credit to you, and I think that's admirable.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's quite hard because, you know, as I said, one of the reasons that I don't charge is to help people, and I don't ever see myself charging, to be honest, unless it, you know, becomes too much. Obviously, you know, I have financial aspirations, like, you know, to buy my own house and whatnot. So whether that changes in the future, it certainly won't be for a while. Another reason is that I don't have my coaching badges yet.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that it would be, you know, applicable for me to charge people, especially this time. But as I've said, I honestly can't see the money, any money being involved with it until, you know, unless I'm, you know, I need to sort of push on and, you know, move out, because I know I've got a lot of sessions coming up. But 100% for lockdown, nothing like that will be put into place. And I'd like to, it helps me as well to develop as a coach. So I don't, you know, I don't look at it and think, oh, this is a great sort of money venture. I see it as develops me as a coach, helps me learn. As I said, helps people. So that's my main reason for doing it.
That's good. So I think today what we'll do is we'll wrap it up because we've run out of time. So if you'd like to have Tom back on again, I'm sure he'd love to come on.
We'd love to have him come again.
We'd love to have you back. There's loads to talk. There's a lot to talk about, etc. But what I'll do is obviously follow Tom's Instagram. All the links will be below. If you ever need coaching, hit him up. I can vouch for him. He is a decent footballer. As much as he doesn't say.
I saw his Instagram.
So hit him up. So from us this week, it's a pleasure to have you on, Tom. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, lads.
Brilliant. And that's it. Thank you very much.